takeover to restore democratic rule or face all necessary means. Well, let's cross live now and speak to our correspondent in Nigeria, Nkechi Ogbonna. And Nkechi, good to talk to you. Give us a bit of a flavour of what we can expect from ECOWAS, because the one thing that these leaders need is consensus between all countries as to how to move forward on this.
That we would be expecting today is to hear possibly a timeline where the junta would decide to transition back to democratic rule, maybe in a 12 to 24 month window. Another option that we could hear is probably a power sharing deal where they would have an approved, regionally approved prime minister or cabinet members that would be appointed. Although late into this morning, the junta leaders announced that the appointment of 21 ministers who would head different parastatals in conjunction with the prime minister that was appointed earlier in the week.
And just explain, if you can, to viewers why this is so important, because obviously it's not just what's happening in Niger. This has much wider regional consequences and indeed international global consequences.
Well, Niger has been stable, especially among the Sahel countries that have witnessed several coups in the last 3 years. And top on that list are Mali and Burkina Faso, that both have military leaders in power at the moment. And so Niger has a lot of attention because of all the humanitarian issues that have fallen out as a result of the crisis and the coups and the insecurity operations that have marred the entire Sahel region. We also know that President Bazoum has been held in captivity for a couple of days now since the military ousted him about 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot of attention, especially because the former French colonies are divided as to whether or not to support the coup movement. But Mali and Burkina Faso support the military junta. However, Ivory Coast and Senegal oppose the military takeover.
And that is part of the problem, isn't it? The difference between what different countries think at the moment.
Yes, exactly. So we are seeing a little division among the ECOWAS regions, but we believe that at the end of today's summit, there would be some form of consensus on the next steps to take in Niger.
And Nkechi, it's good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed, our correspondent in Lagos. And these are the live pictures that we're getting of that meeting, the ECOWAS meeting. West African leaders are arriving in that summit in Abuja to discuss the Niger coup. There will be talks, and as Nkechi explained to us a little earlier, the most difficult element of this is to get consensus between all countries on how to move forward, because countries in the Sahel region like Mali and Burkina Faso have already come out in favour of the coup leaders. So it'll be interesting to find out where the ECOWAS leaders go from here. We will, of course, keep across that story because it has huge regional and global implications for you here on BBC News.